A team scores 9 goals in a game. It's going to be hard to pick 3 stars, but we're going to do it. Special episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to our bonus episode of Locked On Avalanche, where we go through our 3 stars of the game. Thank you for tuning in, making this your either first or second listen of the day. Either one, always appreciated. He's Mr. Zach Pearson. I am Chris Micieli, and thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the number one sports podcast network in the country. Special episode. We always do this after games, our 3 stars of the game, not the conventional 3 stars. As you will see in this very episode, we had some fun with this one because the Avalanche had some fun with this game as well. Not only on the ice, off the ice as well. And you will see who as we get to our stars here. We always start with the actual 3 stars. So the actual 3 stars of this game, no surprise, we're all Avalanche in this game. And your 3rd star was Jack Drury, who had the 1 goal, 2 assists. Your 2nd star was Parker Kelly. Same for him. 1 goal, 2 assists. And your number 1 star was Nazem Kadri with his 2 goals, technically the game-winning goal, which is always weird to say in a 9-2 game. But because it was against his former team, nice little added feature there for him. So no real issues with these 3 stars of the game here, I would assume, for you either. Yeah.
Not at all. I think these are great picks for the 3 stars.
Yeah. We're going to dive into ours with our 3rd star being the Colorado Avalanche power play. How we always say, like, we love giving credit to things that don't get a lot of credit when we do these 3 stars of the game. That's why a lot of times we have depth players as stars somewhere in there. But the power play needs some love right now. You went 3 for 4 in this game. You had those back-to-back. You did the 5-on-3, capitalized on that. Went to the 5-on-4, capitalized on that. Both of those were from Nazem Kadri. So that right there is just pretty cool. But the power play itself has just really started to pick up. Something that I think we're both on the same boat here, had kind of given up hope that it ever would for this season. Yeah. He kept saying all season long that it's going to turn around. It's going to turn around. And it just never did. We're almost at the end of the season, and March is the month where it decided to kind of really turn around, really when Kadri got here. So,
yeah.
Thoughts?
We knew that Kadri was going to give the team a boost. I don't think anybody expected the power play to essentially turn around, because 100% I was of the mindset of, man, they're just going to have to find a way to win in the postseason without a functional power play, which is not a good recipe for success. It's just not. Figuring this out here, getting 75% on the power play tonight, this is exactly what you need. And they're clicking, they're passing, but then they're shooting. It's not holding on to the puck for too long. It's not 3 too many passes. It's get the lane, get the shot, and then retrieve if there's a rebound and you didn't score. They did all of those things so well. This power play was rocking tonight.
And you're coming up on the playoffs. And like you said, it's not a recipe for success. Miraculously, it hasn't hurt them in the regular season. It will in the postseason. That's why you lost last year in the playoffs.
Yep.
What was your power play? So to have it pick up, I mean, if it's going to pick up at any point in the season, I guess now is the best time for that to happen. So
absolutely
good on the power play. And the funny thing is, the picture that I put up, the only picture I could find for this game right now with all players in one picture that really kind of fit the description. None of those guys are on the power play, by the way.
Oh my goodness, you're right.
Those are all depth guys, but it was a good pitcher, and I wanted to use it. So there you go. Your second star of the game, we've already talked about him multiple times in this special episode. That is Nazem Kadri. We're putting Kadri as a second star, 2 goals. I mean, which is great against your former team. Would have been even more poetic if you got that hat trick. But alas, that's okay. I'll deal with 2 power play goals, I guess, from Nazem Kadri. But
if all we can get, 2 power goals.
I know. It's been overall, just since he's got here, it's been a welcome addition, which we all knew was going to happen. But it goes hand in hand with the power play that we have at number 3. But he's turned it around. He's turned the power play around, and good on you to get a couple goals against your former team.
He just plays so with a purpose, I think is probably the best way to say it too. Mm-hmm. Like the passes that set up his power play goals were really, really nice. I don't want to take away from the first power play goal. Sorry, the second one wasn't really a pass because it was a non-assisted. But the first one was really good passing that got to his tape, and he just is laser focused and buries it. But later in the game, he had an opportunity where he tried to cut back to the middle of the ice, had a collision, which ended up, making him lose possession of the puck. But he's playing towards the net. He's always kind of that downhill force. And I think the Avs really did need that more than I realized, because it's changed the power play in such a dramatic way. You're thrilled to have Kadri back.
Yeah, it is a little weird seeing him on a third line center. Because you're used to playing him, being a top 6 guy. But I think he's just fine being in the middle 6 role, and everything is just clicking right now. It's just it was, when you make trades and stuff at the trade deadline, those guys sometimes take a little while to get into. We saw it last year with Brock Nelson and all those guys. Like it takes a little while. For Kadri, I'm sure it still did, but to a much smaller extent, because a lot of some of those guys are still there. It's the same coach, so what he's expecting. So it in that regard, it's a maybe even more of a smart move to bring in someone that already knows what's expected of him, knows what the system is. Everything is just golden right now when it comes to Nazem Kadri in the Avs. So good stuff there. All right. We're going to get our break in. When we come back, we'll get to our number 1 star. This is a fun one. And, of course, we'll check in with our Subtext people. We'll do that next. All right, Robinhood, what if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with the Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market, and you can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action. So when momentum shifts, you can move with it. And I always knew the game, but I never had a dynamic way to apply that knowledge. And now I can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. Play by play, you decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the United States. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives, LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm. All right, so our number 1 star of this game was not on the ice for this one. And if you're watching you could either watch this game on Altitude or on Prime, on Amazon Prime. And because the game was on Amazon Prime, Mark Rycroft was not in his usual home ball arena position in between the benches. Amazon Prime had their guy in between the benches. So Altitude, this is why I never understand why they are so low on these rankings. When they do rankings for like the broadcast team and stuff like that, they were like, well, what can we do? What can we use Riker for in this game? And they had him in the production truck.
Yep.
And it was fun.
So
that's what we're going with. Riker in the truck is your number one star of this game. And I have to say, like, when it first started out, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go, but I underestimated it because Rycroft he's a gem. He's so fun. He doesn't take himself seriously. He's very knowledgeable on the game, obviously, but the way he presents it is just in a fun way. And he's the only one that you could have, maybe Keith. I think Kyle Keith would have been fun in that position too.
yeah.
But Riker doing it was a blast. And he went to different spots in the truck he did like the graphics for a little bit. Then he went over and he did the cameras for a little bit. Then he did like the replay for a little bit. So it was informative because you really saw the behind the scenes stuff, but in the Riker way that made it hilarious and fun.
I was going to say the informative piece was kind of huge for me because I did not I knew there was a lot of production that had to go into it and a lot of hands involved. I didn't know that much. And you got a little bit of kind of listening to the chatter between them as they're planning things and going back and forth. It's a lot. There's a ton that is going into that process. And then Riker does everything that he does to make it just extremely fun. Popping up the stat about the Avs power play being number 1 in the league in March, and then adding a little footnote that says John Lyles needs to wear his socks.
In a terrible font, by the way. A terrible font.
The font was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
And he's just, when he's playing with the robo camera and he's trying to zoom in on Johnny Lyles and Mosier, and luckily there's other people there to click back to the game, because if he was in charge, we would have missed 3 minutes a game. But they kick back and then he realizes it and zooms back. But he's getting some people into the spotlight that never, ever would get the spotlight.
Yeah. Which
I thought was really cool on its own. But he's doing it in a really fun, informative, and not too intrusive on them. Like they all seem to enjoy having him there too. When you can have that balance, that's really difficult, in my opinion, to pull off. Which is why he's the number 1 star, because you have to be able to play that good in order to be the number 1 star.
Yeah. It's true though. Like the people that behind the scenes always get that like last game of the season when it's like, oh, this is our last game before we turn it over to the national broadcast for playoffs and stuff. Or if you don't make the playoffs, like your last game of the regular season, they always get the thanks to everybody who is behind the scene. Like that's the one and only time they get any like recognition. And you see like how smooth things go, and behind the scenes, it's just, there's stuff going on like crazy. So the result that you see is just from people just doing crazy work behind the scenes to make it seem like everything is running smooth, and it does, and it runs smooth. But
when he pointed out the RoboCam focus, and that those people are just locked in on that screen and just moving that camera smoothly, following the action through the whole, that's intense.
And he said like those cameras, like the camera you're controlling might only go live for like 2 seconds.
Yep.
So you have to be on your game the entire game, and you get a 2-second spot here and there throughout the game. And he's right.
But it looks so good when they do those switches between the camera angles and everything. So I agree. Amazing. I thought that was awesome.
I will say, I think the Avs lucked out that this game was a blowout, because if it was close, I wouldn't care as much. I would want to be like
100%
play the game. I want to see this game. Riker, I love you. I don't care about this stuff right now. This is a close game. Focus on it. So they got lucky that I could enjoy that a lot more because it was a blowout.
I think Riker was aware of that too, because in the first period after, I think, the 4th goal, he's like, with this game getting out of hand, you guys are going to be able to hear a lot more from me. And I think he knows if it was closer, he would have been like, this isn't playing and we're not going to do it. So,
So well done for Altitude for coming up with that. And it was it was cool. It was cool to see. So there you go. There's our 3 stars. So our Subtext crew has a few that they're throwing out here. We got Shorzy here. 3rd star, Jack Drury. 2nd star, Gabe Landeskog.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair.
Yep. And 1st star, Kadri. So he said Wedgie was solid, but didn't face many shots, so he'd be my 4th. Which, okay. We will allow a 4th.
We've done honorable mentions. More than fair.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see who else we got here. We got Kay. Stars of the game. I think she's going 3, 2, 1 here. She didn't name them or number them. So I think 3rd star is the 4th line. She's with the 4th line. Second star, power play. Okay.
Wonderful.
They feel us. And number 1 star, Nazem Kadri. I feel like Kadri's going to be number 1 for most of
I think so.
Devin says, Devin always comes up with good ones here. So 3rd star, the middle-aged guy wearing the 12+ t-shirts, taking them off and throwing them into the crowd to the delight of everyone in the building. I don't know who that guy is, but he's a legend.
He is nuts in those games. He does it every home game. And he he aggressively dances while he's doing this. And he's getting the crowd ramped up and rips off the shirt only to reveal that he has yet another one. He was on briefly.
Was he?
Like they very briefly had him. And you could see kind of the view down. He was on the stairs. But just rips off a shirt only to reveal yet another one.
And he's throwing those shirts out to people?
Yep. Sure
so
is.
He's purchasing a lot of shirts then if he's doing this like every
Yeah, I don't know if he's like
is he part of the
I have no idea. If he's Avalanche? Just a random guy, like good on you, man. That's impressive.
All right. Number 2, Nazem Kadri. 2 goals against your former team. It has to feel amazing. And number 1 is the power play. Put him at number 1. So 3 out of 4. Every team in the NHL would give their first to have 3 out of 4 on a power play. They'd give their 1st, 2nd, and 3rd born to have those kinds of numbers. Not a single part of this team system that isn't clicking right now. So can't disagree with any of that. Let's see. Daniel, 3 stars. Nazem Kadri, Parker Kelly, and Scott Wedgwood are his 3. And we got Nick, Martin H.S. as number 3. Cale Makar, number 2. Why not?
Yeah, he had a great game. 3 assists.
Yep, 3 assists. And number 1 is the Tasmanian Devil line.
Excellent.
Which is his they were great. They were great yet again. They were great. So, and finally, Madam Battleaxe. She's got Nazem Kadri as number 3. No, excuse me, Martin H.S. at number 3. Nazem Kadri at number 2, and Scott Wedgwood as number 1. Which I thought she would just go with Ross Colton just because.
It's just always
Why
Ross.
Not? It's always Ross. So
we didn't give Wedgwood enough credit. He did have a pretty solid game.
He did have a good game. Made a some good saves, which he always does. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, when you score 9, the outcome is really never in doubt, but you still got to play your position. And he did just fine. So all right, there you go, people. There is your 3 stars of the game for myself and Zach and our Subtext crew. So thank you for tuning in to the special episode of our 3 stars. Go check out the regular episode if you have not yet. And we will be back tomorrow with a fresh episode of Locked On Avalanche. So make sure you are tuned into that one. But thank you for tuning into this one, making it your first, second, whatever listen of the day. It's very much appreciated. See you guys tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day.